Sicilian pizza, or grandma pie as it is also called, it is a Sicilian-American pizza, but it's perfect for your home oven. We have done Neapolitan pizza many times on this channel. You can link down below, you can see how we do that. We have our wood-fired oven, but in a home oven, it's difficult to make a Neapolitan pizza good, but Sicilian pizza, that you can. So, I have here 1200 grams of a flour called Super K, which is a local flour from Greece with 17.2 grams of protein. It's super strong. 1200 grams of flour and 780 milliliter of water. That is 65% hydration. That will yield enough for 2 pizzas of this size. But first, we have to prove our yeast. So I'm going to grab a little bit of honey just to feed the yeast. So let's say maybe just half a tablespoon, not more. It won't make the dough sweet at all or anything like that. It's just to prove the yeast. 16 grams of dry yeast. And we give that a good mix. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to give it another stir when the yeast has hydrated. Put that aside a little bit. And then I'm just going to mix the dry ingredients so that we get an even distribution of salt in the flour, because the only dry ingredient we're going to add is salt. 30 grams of sea salt. In it goes, and a whisk just to give it a quick mix around so everything is evenly distributed. And when our yeast looks like a cafe latte, like that, nice and bubbly on the surface, then you know your yeast is well alive, so we are ready to move on. I'm going to use my nice spiral mixer. If you don't have one of these, use a stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, do the flip and fold method. It just takes much longer to build the gluten network than when you use this puppy. So in with our flour, see if I can avoid making a huge mess. Yeah.
That's your specialty anyway.
It's my specialty is to make a mess, especially if you ask my wife. So yeah, and now let's get this started. And then we stream in the water, the yeasted water, slowly. And now we're gonna let this knead in the machine for 15 minutes, maximum 20. Be careful it doesn't get too warm, because then the gluten network will not build nicely. And when everything is nice and tight, we switch this off. And then we're gonna take 2 balls, because as I said, this is a recipe for 2 pizzas. So we take a bit of olive oil on our hands here and a little bit on our work surface so nothing sticks, and a little bit in our bowls here. Just give it a little bit in the bottom here so nothing sticks. And then we're gonna pull out our dough, nice and strong. Super gluten network build up here. I can recommend a spiral mixer if you're into baking.
And a good flour also.
Yeah, for sure. So get this into a nice taut round ball here, like this. And we divide it in 2. Like that, nice. 1 for each bowl, and we're gonna cover that up just like that, and we're gonna leave that for 30-45 minutes until double in size and the gluten has relaxed, because now it's super tight. So 40 minutes about. Let's see if our dough is ready. Put this away, and that looks pretty. Doubled in size, nice.
It took a little bit longer.
It took extra time because it was rather chilly in here today, so it took a little bit longer than normally, but that's, you have to factor that in
but
with your
temperature.
temperature.
But don't despair if it takes like an
No.
hour or so, because it can happen.
Actually, you could put this the day before and leave it in the fridge to cold ferment.
That's even better sometimes.
So we take our oven pot, and then we're going to give it a good splash of olive oil. We are not making focaccia, but we want some oil in the bottom to get nice crust on the pizza. If it was focaccia, I would take significantly more oil, but we are somewhere in between. Let's call it that. So spread that around. So we have like a layer, I don't know what this is, 3-4 tablespoons, whatever.
It depends the surface also you have there.
Yeah, but if you want less, put less. I mean, it's all up to you. And then we get our nice little dough ball here, release it there, stretch it out. And now we press it out as much as we can. We won't be able to fill the pot right now because when I do this, the gluten will start contracting and tighten up. So like when we do focaccia, also link down below if you want to see how to do that. We make excellent focaccia. You stretch it as much as you can at this point in time.
It has to rest a little bit more, right?
Yeah, because as I said, now you see it contracts again.
Yeah.
Like that. But that's exactly what it's supposed to do, but get it as much out as you can. You want to create that little crust on the edges here that you see I'm doing, so that we get, because when we're finished, the corner piece, that's always the best. That's it. Now we're going to cover this with some aluminum foil. And then we let it rest for 15, 20 minutes so we can stretch it to the corners, and then we are ready to put toppings. We gave it a bit of a rest, so now it should be ready for us to stretch it. Put this aside. Give it a little bit of a press here from the middle, and then we take it and stretch it. And you see, now it starts filling up. Won't fill exactly to the corners, but that's okay. It is a grandma pie.
I can smell it all the way here. It's amazing.
The yeast gets a good smell. And you want it to have a thick bottom, this kind of pizza. You don't want it to be thin crust like we do the Neapolitan. This is what we want. It's getting there slowly. Give me a minute or two.
That looks beautiful, and it complies now much better.
Okay, it could maybe have taken 5 more minutes of rest, but I'm getting hungry. So, that's our grandma pie. And let's start putting some toppings. This is a basic marinara. It's crushed tomatoes and basil, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper. I didn't think it was necessary to show you how to mix that. So, we give it a nice, not too thick coating, but we want some marinara sauce in here.
Yeah, because we have also thicker dough than the Neapolitan pizza, so
exactly, much thicker. But that's what you want. You want it to be thicker. You want this to be like somewhere in between pizza and focaccia, I would say. That's at least what I want, and that's what I'm getting. And anyway, my kitchen, my rules. I think that looks good to me. And then we're going to give it a sprinkle of freshly grated Parmesan. Don't give it too much, just a thin layer, like we do the Neapolitan actually. Always put a little bit of this. You could mix it with pecorino if you so want to. That gives a nice extra tangy, salty flavor to it. I would say we take about half of this. I don't know, 100 grams of grated Parmesan. Something like that. And then roughly grated mozzarella. Now, in this case, it's a Greek cheese that is similar to mozzarella, but you can use whatever. But grate it yourself. Don't buy the pre-grated stuff because they put a lot of anti-caking things in it. It's not nice. Grate it yourself. It's easy. And you want this to be cheesy. Then we're going to go in with the toppings, and I want to put them on top of the cheese for presentation, actually. So, bit of tomato, thinly sliced. Don't put it too thick. Something like that, I would say. We have a small one here that can go here.
Nice.
And then we have some Italian air-dried salami. It's not pepperoni, because I'm not a fan of pepperoni. I'm a fan of this. Get the good air-dried stuff, cut it yourself. And this is, first of all, more flavor, less fat. Not that I'm concerned about the fat, but pepperoni gets so oily when it melts on a pizza. I don't like that. A little bit of green pepper. This is not your regular bell pepper. These are is it Florino peppers, these ones? It's
Yeah.
it's a Greek
The long
pepper.
ones.
No, they are longer.
The horn
Yes.
peppers, as we call them.
They're not spicy, but they're a little bit more spicy than a regular bell pepper. If you are really so inclined, use Holland peppers or even jalapenos, fresh jalapenos. And lastly, I'm gonna spread over a bit of thinly sliced mushrooms. And again, thinly sliced because otherwise they don't cook enough and then they're not nice. So just get them on there. Ready for the oven. My oven is preheated to almost maximum temperature, 250, 500 Fahrenheit, something like that. Just go to the maximum of what you have. And then we're gonna stuff this on a middle rack for 10 to 12 minutes. 12 minutes passed and it's smelling good here and it's looking good in the oven. So let's get this one out.
The
Look at
smell.
that,
is
looks
good.
nice. Ooh, listen to that.
Oh.
Now we're gonna have to let that rest a little bit to good eating temperature, and then I'm gonna dig in. There we are, moment of truth. And as I said, corner piece, that's what you want. You really want the corner
But
piece.
look-wise, it's fantastic. Smell-wise, it's perfect. Let's see. Oh.
Look at this. Look at the cheese pull here on this. This is, oh my God, this is like, whoo.
You're gonna burn yourself now. Be careful.
It's messy, it's greasy, it's fantastic. I mean, I do love a Neapolitan pizza, but grandma pies, they have a merit. Sicilian pizza, as messy as it is, you're gonna love this. So, cheers.